What's weird is my camera is like physically hot. It's hot to the touch, and I feel like I should be concerned about that. Hello, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. I'm your host, your host. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. I need to put that link down there. Everyone should hop onto the channel and check out things like Locomotive Royale, etc., etc. Hello, Dragon. I gotta boot up not Tetris so that we can do this. Get ready for today. Hello, Yankee. I know I'm a little bit late. There was actually a Trainz update before we got started here, and I'm curious if anything that I hate has changed. I actually forgot because I started messing around with stuff right before we got started. I spent maybe 10 minutes chit-chatting, 10-15 minutes chit-chatting, and just idly doing scenery, which is not really what I want to be doing, because I want that to all be recorded. That's the point of this. But once we get back to it, I'm just going to go straight back to working on scenery in Bellington and South Bellington, and beyond that, talking about maybe going into the... Hello, Mopac. Maybe going into the wheelhouse of looking at the industries that we could set up. It depends on if there's any updates to the industry UI, as provided by N3V. Like I said, there was an update right before we got started. I'm actually kind of excited, but I don't really have expectations. I know Kevon posted the changelog. Oh, shoot. Kevon posted the changelog, but I didn't read it. So... that's on me. I guess we'll find out, as we go. Well, let's put this over here. Boop. Are we making mines near Bellington? No, probably not. Mines? No, we don't need mines. This area, I think, because most of our mines in general are going to be on the other side of the peninsula. This area isn't very resource-rich, comparatively speaking. This side of the peninsula has a lot of aggregate, has a lot of sort of stone, like granite and marble, I would imagine. We need to have some classic, like, New England Granite Railway. Actually, that would be a great place for some shays. And in a big quarry. Hi, East. What cards are you getting? Mopac, that is a good question. What cards are you getting? Well, I'll tell you what. You're getting these cards. These ones right here. Oh, shoot. Hello, Pat. Let me give you the welcome to New England. I'm looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. And I bet Lafayette is also looking forward to going on a trolley ride. He's not. He's not. Let me spoil it for you. He's not. But, we're taking him anyway. So, I think that event is going to be the first time one of the WWF people meets Lafayette, because Bryce is going to be there, I think. At least he said he wants to be there. So fingers crossed that he can make it. That'd be cool. Bryce had a great showing in Locomotive Royale last night. I invite everyone to watch that episode, The Locomotives You Own. It's a very funny one. It's a very interesting one. It goes long because I can't keep myself from making jokes like the whole way through. Honestly, it's like there's so much flavor text in that episode, which isn't a bad thing, but yeah, as soon as you know what time you're gonna be there, Pat, just sort of shoot a message. But if we don't know what time you're gonna be there by like the night before, I'm just gonna get up there like as early as I can and hang out all day, because it's a long drive, so I can't wait around for the signal. Like, I can't wait for the bad signal to come up and then be like, oh shoot, I gotta get over there. Like, by the time that you go, oh, we're heading over, I'm not going to be able to make it. So, I'm just going to head up, I'm going to hang out, probably spend the whole day dicking around Seashore Trolley Museum, because I haven't spent a ton of time there. Like, I spent a day. I I spent one day ish and then one afternoon, I think. But in both cases, it was really only a few hours. Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours from me. I mean, it's Kennebunkport. The problem is I have to get by Boston to get there. Um, so it really could be anywhere from like 2.5 hours to like five. You know, I could get royally screwed by traffic. I don't anticipate that happening, but because of because of Boston being the way it is, I of course cannot take the train there, which big bummer, right? Um, oh, I should have dropped. Okay, sure, I'll take that line. Um, yeah, someday we'll have that north-south rail. Like, I still really enjoy the fact that that's back in the conversation. It's something that, to be honest, to be honest, I have been fairly pessimistic about the North-South rail link. I figured there'd be some conversation on it maybe, but at the end of the day, I haven't thought that it's going to happen sort of within my lifetime. Like Boston is relegated to always being two terminals about a mile and one extremely flammable transit system apart from one another. Speaking of which, the Blue Line caught on fire, which that's a shame because that was the MBTA's golden child for a while. Um, but I know, Pat, you've been risking life and limb out there. But the fact that there is like any amount of conversation surrounding a north-south rail link is huge, and I think that is something that is sort of underrated. Like, oh, well, there's news articles, but it's never going to happen. The fact that there are news articles is a hugely important step because it means it gets the public talking about it, and the public are the people that put pressure on the legislators. It's not the foamers. It's you got to have more beans than that. Um, and beyond that, we have an administration. We joke about Foamer Joe, and I know Joe Biden is nobody's perfect president right now, but we talk about Foamer Joe, but there's some reality to that. There's a reason that so much good Amtrak isms have happened under his what? Okay, I'm running out of space. I'm gonna die. Have happened under that man's tenure, right? Because when you have pressure from above or below to make the trains run on time, as much as Amtrak cannot run on time, but when you have pressure from above or below, um, to get the trains out, to run more trains, to do chooch, it matters, and you need a lot of pressure from below, but you don't need quite as much pressure from above. Okay, so this is our world right now, and honestly, I want long distance Amtrak cannot run on time. We talked on the podcast about how much of a success story the Borealis is, um, and I keep saying, I still want to do we rate all of the proposed long distance services because that would be really fun. Um, yeah, and long distance Amtrak can't run on time because the FRA is toothless, and sadly, the recent Supreme Court yada yada has made a lot of agencies theoretically toothless if there are a subsequent series of court cases. But we'll really see. Yeah, yes, on time. There's an intercity rail map tab that is tracking an 11-hour late Amtrak train. Is it the California Zephyr? One of my favorite sort of proposals, Amtrak adjacent proposals, or well, Amtrak not adjacent, but things in the Amtrak sphere, is the idea that they should run the Silver Star and the Capital Limited, the Capital Limited, as one long train, which would be really strange in terms of ops, but I think it's actually a really good idea. It's a neat idea anyway. Giving people a one-seat ride from Chicago to Florida, like, if you're taking Amtrak, you're already not worried about how long it takes. and the compounding delays are not great. Like the theoretical possibility for compounding delays over that, but it it's an opportunity that really doesn't come up often. Doing something like that, Northbound Texas Eagle Amtrak always tends to be late. Uh, yeah, the Missouri River Runner and Lincoln Service, because they are, by virtue of being short trains, they're they're they don't have a lot of time to pick up delay, right? And that's the really big kicker. That's why a combined Silver Star and Capital Punishment would be problematic, right? It's because if you have that long of a run, any delays that crop up just get compounded and compounded and compounded. You know, they get worse upon themselves because once an Amtrak train is out of its designated time slot with the dispatchers, they need to squeeze it in. Um, and this is something that's been true in like all railroading ever, basically. Like the concept of precision scheduled railroading, but not as like a sick joke. Um, it's always been around. It's always been a thing, and it's always not necessarily been a bad idea. The idea of precision scheduled railroading. It doesn't even want me to say it. Like I'm being stopped by railroading gods. Uh, the idea of that being a viable concept has always been around, and it's always been, kind of how you run a railroad. But that doesn't mean we're going to gut the schedules and gut the workforce and compile everything into long trains. It's now become a buzzword that does not actually mean railroading with precision scheduled thing. Um, the class ones are making themselves delayed. 2816 left Kansas City Union Station 3.5 hours late. Damn. I mean, and that's, you'd think that would be the highest priority on the system, but freight to move, money to make, and all that. Okay, let's go look at this. What kind of music do I listen to? Asked the Flying Dragon. So that's kind of a good question because I listen to a whole lot of stuff. All right, I'm afraid to click on this. I am afraid to click on this because if it still looks awful, I'm just going to be bummed. Yeah, it still looks awful. Okay, at least we can see this, but I can't edit it because how would I edit it? Oh, thank you. Can you put this with the other one? It's still over on the side table in the living room. I never cached my other one. Um, yeah, I know I go on about this a lot, but like, how am I supposed to set this to a number, right? I should be able to type in a number. Why can't I do that? That's insane. The Frick made single track main work for 80 trains a day back in the day. Yeah, and you can do that if you know where all your trains are going to be all the time, and importantly, they fit in the passing sidings. It's not a new concept. It's something that people seem. Let me put your cards away. People seem to have this idea from games, I would assume mostly, and I was one of them. I was one of them for a while. People seem to have the idea that running a single track main line means you throw trains into it in both directions and the dispatcher figures out where to put them. No. It's not open TTD out there. It's not, locomotion or whatever, or Run 8 even, because Run 8 doesn't have timed spawns, which is a weird thing for that game to miss. I know they're working on it, but Penn Central is an outlier in it's just bad, like it's bad. But no, in reality, if you had a competent railroad, right? If you had a competent railroad, you would be looking at a timetable, even for your what are effectively billed as extra trains or oftentimes considered extra trains. You'd be looking at a timetable of like this train is going to leave this place at about this time, and then it can meet these other trains at these locations. That's not uncommon. That wouldn't be weird in the Steam era. It's it comes along with having a competent railroad, because you don't want to be throwing trains into the void. You don't want to just be indiscriminately sending in more trains. You want to know where you're going to meet these trains. And when you build your infrastructure, you're going to take what you're going to have to run into account, and you're going to really think about it. And you're going to pay someone good money to figure it out. And when you go to schedule your trains, you're going to take your infrastructure into account. You're not going to just go, oh, well, we need to send more trains, so we're going to send more trains. You need to know if your line's at capacity. You need to know if you can meet these trains. The Bangor and Aroostook being a, like, collateral damage casualty of the Penn Central, and I know they lasted until, like, the Bangor and Aroostook existed into, like, the 21st century, which blows me away every time I relearn that fact. Something like that. Hold on. Bangor and Aroostook. I just spelled Aroostook really wrong. Bangor and Aroostook. When did you guys go out of business? 2003. 2003. That's what I was going to guess. I was afraid to be wrong. Always check your facts. The fact that they still existed in 2003 blows me away, but they were like a husk. They were a corpse, right? They died when Penn Central, made them lose all of their potato traffic. But they shambled on as a zombie for decades afterwards, and it blows my mind every time I learn that. Yeah, POVU and the Bangor and Aroostook existed at the same time. Yeah, it's not something you'd think. You think of the BAR as a relic from the past, and that's because they were a relic from the past. They just somehow weren't dead yet. So, okay. I think this river is too straight. It is very much too straight. It needs to go. It needs to take either a right or a left. What did you get?
Chinese food.
Oh, okay, cool. Where'd you get it from, Fuming?
No, Jade House.
Oh, Jade House. Okay. What? What? Anyway. So I need to mess with this river a little bit, I think. But yeah, the Bangor and Aroostook existed as a husk of itself. No, but I want to come back to the music I listened to. Now, here's the thing. I think, was it at the end of last podcast or at the end of like 2 Royales ago, where I concluded by saying go listen to Caravan Palace's new album, which is called Gangbusters Melody Club, and I feel I've listened to that album like once a day for the last 2 weeks.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah. I've got some of my nose itching. It's outstanding. Can you use my headphones? What's wrong with your headphones? Bruh. Yeah, you just sat down, so you're not like rooted to the seat yet. I will give you my headphones, but you still have to come over here to get them. So are you going to stand, or are you going to try to wheel your chair across the carpet? Yeah. I'm not standing up. I'm doing something. Oh, man. My wrist is killing me. I'm going to need to get a wrist brace. Anyway, this area I want to be some trees. Actually, I have to put up the grass around the edges of where the trees are going to be before I forget. So this area is... I don't actually know what you'd call this, because this is legally speaking, this is South Bellington. But it's South Bellington on this side of the tracks. It's the other side of the tracks sort of neighborhood. Well, really, it's the other side of the highway, but the tracks are here too. Um, this is predominantly an industrial district. Like, I did put down some stores down here. Honestly, we probably have maybe too many stores down here. But it is what it is. This is predominantly industrial district because this is the area where the rail yard for what was formerly the Gilson Eastern and is now the Mansfield Branch Railroad is. Also, I think this is your runner. Yeah, this is definitely your runner. So you go around the outside of the yard like this. I thought about it being the sort of like innermost track, center track, but it's definitely that one. So this is what I'm looking at. This area here is going to be sort of marquee buildings and things like that. Ignore this. That's not there on purpose. You've got a water treatment plant here, and this little river and this whole area, which looks like a part of Rhode Island, that would have nothing to do with this, and really nothing in common. But it looks kind of like it. It reminds me of it anyway. I talked about that a couple episodes ago, and this is just the opportunity for me to include some things that I'm missing to this point. Like we're gonna have single family homes in a lot of these areas. We're gonna have single family homes in a lot of these areas. We're gonna have some other like non rail served industry. I've thought about bringing this line through here a little further, like across this road and at least to like this road or to the river almost, so that I can build like a nice long building for food being dropped off. There's I think it's called the longest building in the world, or at least some people have called it that. I don't know. There's a very long building in Pittsburgh. I invite everyone to visit it. It's neat. And that's sort of what I think of a lot. I built one of them in the MPS server, in the multiplayer surveyor server. I haven't been back on in a while because it was broken. Apparently they tried to fix it, but because the industries are still totally borked, I'm not particularly interested. Let me just lower this down to here. And also, like, my beautiful station is gone in MPS, so I'm not, I'm not incentivized. Or not the station, but the interlocking leading to the station. It's gone. I'm very sad about it. All right, go. That should be good. Oh man, you had an underpowered steam engine in front of JB. That's a ooh. I'm sure you got razzed a little bit for that one. There was a period of time where I would just bring my T1 to the club and flex by driving around the coal drag with just the T1. It can't quite do it anymore, which is sad, but I don't need to flex anymore. I'm the president. But I was sort of like, oh, you need 4 diesels to do this, hey JB? And it was good times were had. 4 T1s can, more T1s. Okay, so yeah, let me continue this around here. Okay, yeah, they'll forget they're old. Ooh, that smells good. Okay, so we got 2 wraps around here. Let's do one more. So, my dad raised me on classic rock, right? I have a boomer dad, but like the good kind of boomer dad. He was born in 1960. And did you just spill all over the place? Did you just spill soup?
No, I should have popped it slowly.
Did you just explode soup all over the place? Okay. Um, did you? Well, whatever. Did you explode liquid all over your computer?
No,
Okay.
just it was a little happy.
It was a little happy. Oh boy. Um. Anyway, after you put on the traction tires, hell yeah. So anyway, I got raised on classic rock. I listened to a lot of that. But the thing is, I feel like my dad's diversity in music tastes have always been kind of underrated to me. Always, I always thought a lot of the weird stuff was because of my mom, who listens to a lot of interesting stuff. Like listens to everything from, you know, hip hop and rap to country and you know, jazz and rock a little bit. But my mom gets tired of that because she's like, oh, I remember when this came out. But you know how parents are. Um, but that my music taste was irrevocably shaped by my parents, as I feel like most people's are. Uh, I have heard that the music that you listened to when you were an adolescent will shape your music taste for the rest of your life more substantially than anything else. And by a lot of that, I was still listening to the same old stuff. Now, adolescent, 14, going into high school, I was given. Where is it? It's up here. It's a little dusty because I haven't used it in a while. Because I got a bigger one. Not because I don't use them, but because I have a bigger one now. Uh, Attempting to play Trainz. Hold on. I just gotta make sure everything can be seen. I got this guy. This blue iPod Nano. I think it's a 5th generation or a 4th generation. It is 8 gigs. So that's not much to write home about, but it was enough. It was enough for me. Um, I got this along with my very first laptop when I went into middle school, actually. I didn't have a smartphone. There were no smartphones, but I had a laptop and I carried it with me anywhere and I wrote stuff. Instead of taking notes, I wrote books. Wrote the Zombie Train on that laptop. And 10 minutes searching for faulty assets. Oh. Um, Sorry, thinking. I need the. I need Surveyor 2.0. I need the clone stamp. Sorry. So I got that. I put on like every CD that I could get my hands on. Right. I put in all of my dad's rock, all of my mom's other weird stuff, which at the time there was no difference between the two. It was just all one big amalgam of music. And I listened, I listened and listened and listened. I actually have more to do here. I need to close this edge in. That edge I'm not sure about, but this one I definitely have to take care of. Um, so I still hold classic rock in a very, very special place in my heart. Boston, Thin Lizzy, Led Zeppelin, Rush, The Cars. Um, what other bands come to mind that I listen to an awful lot of? I mean, Pink Floyd, although that's not exactly classic rock, it's a little bit different. But the British Invasion stuff too. The Beatles, Stones. I don't really have any Stones, but I definitely listen to them. Uh, Aerosmith, Van Halen. Um, what else is in there? There's a lot of stuff. AC/DC. Can't forget about AC/DC. Um, all that jazz. Well, all that rock, as it were. So that was the basis of my musical taste for a long time. And I went to see Boston 3 separate times in concert. It was fantastic every single time. Um, Hold on, scrapbook data. Let's go down. Let's go to U, and then we'll set the filters to uh, ground height none, texture overwrite meshes, overwrite splines none. Effect layers, none. Um, yeah, Beatles are a pest. Thanks. Um, but that's the kind of thing that was the basis, like foundational to my music tastes. It's not all of them though. It's not the end all be all, and it's really only just the beginning. For a brief period there, and honestly, I say a brief period there. I didn't really go through a phase. I haven't gone through much in the way of musical phases. Everything just gets added to the big music amalgam, and I listen to it for the rest of my life. You know why? Because I've never had a single advertisement on my iPod. Because I'm still buying music, buying CDs, putting it on my iPod, and keeping those, sort of keeping that. Um, so yeah, uh, I am. I don't do music streaming. Uh, I don't do Spotify or anything like that. Mostly because I can't put it on my iPod. Uh, this isn't me intentionally being a luddite. It's a lot of, uh, sort of sunk cost. Right? I've spent a lot of money on this music, and I like it, and I'm used to it. Not just used to the music, but also used to the interface, used to using my iPod the way that it is, and I have like a special iPod plug in the car, and bonus feature, it doesn't drain my phone battery to listen to music. That's that's something that I think is underrated. Uh, I prefer my devices separate. I like having my music device that is separate from my phone. Um, it works out. It works for me. It might not work for everyone, but it works pretty well for me. So I don't actually have my iPod with me, my big one, my classic. It's got like 160 gigs of storage. It's got about 3,100 songs on it right now, which I know compared to some people's like giga Spotify playlist is not all that much, you know. Um, but it is, it's still quite a bit, right? It's still a lot of songs, and I've basically paid for all of those songs. I've spent a lot of money over the years. Now, that doesn't mean I spent 99 cents for all of them. Some of them I just sort of go and get CD collections in bulk, or I get gifted iTunes cards, or I get, shoot, like, some people have given me mixtapes, given me CDs. Even record stores, you'll usually be able to get CDs for cheap, because nobody really cares about CDs. Um, I would go to the River Street Beats shop in Troy, and I'd get a CD for like $4. And if it's a 20-song CD, which is a big one, but still, 20-song CD. If it's a 20-song CD, you're beating out iTunes prices by a mile. Yeah, my basement full of records, which sadly I have no way to convert into. I have no way to convert those into songs that I can use on iTunes. If I could, I would. If I could, I would. I would have so many damn songs. Um, all right, let's slide this over a little bit. Yeah, I mean Walmart sells vinyls, but that's a different. That's a different. It's a different ball game. Vinyl sort of has this hipster resurgence, right? And I'm not. That's not me knocking it. I'm one of those people. I have two record players, not including my antique one. I have one for myself, and I have one that I bought as a birthday gift for Gloria. Or wait, was it a Christmas gift or a birthday gift? It was a gift. Oh, Gloria's got their headphones on; they can't hear me. Um, was the record player a Christmas gift or a birthday gift? Okay, it was a Chrism gift. Okay, close enough. Point is, I gave it as a gift. I gave it as a gift along with Barbie the album, which that's a fun thing. The whole Barbie everything is fun. All right, straighten the spline point, and then I want to put the other one right here, I think. No, I want to put it right about here. Okay. Insert spline point. I can actually just move the spline point if I need to. Um, I guess we're going with the macadam roads over here, which, but yeah, I mean, Walmart. Vinyl has had this resurgence due to just I'm not sure what the word is. It's just a sort of a pop culture thing now, you know. Um, and I wouldn't have expected it, but in a world that's losing all physical media, perhaps one of the most physical of physical medias still manages to survive because it is something other. Because it is something so clearly other, you know. Um, and record albums are fun to like look at on when you hang them on the wall, right? Um, roll everything back to the 70s. Well, except for like you know women's rights and stuff, uh, and civil rights. Yeah, just civil rights in general. Careful about that. Maybe don't give Ross Rowland anything. Actually, maybe King Foamer is best left to the history books. Uh, anyway, have you guys heard about Watergate? All right, let me insert the spline point here. Insert spline point here. Okay. Then this road has to be this road. I guess we're doing the roads on this side. Uh, replace with selected asset. Yep. Watergate, you mean the lock? Yeah. No, I mean the things in the road. Okay. This, then this. Um, and we gotta straighten some stuff out. Okay. Straighten spline. Nope. Straighten spline. If we want to talk about me getting canceled, Mew and I rediscovered the fact that you can put people in cattle cars in OpenTTD. That's a yikes from me, bro. It's just the 600mm stuff. Anyway, hold on. At least I can tell which one is the new thing. Insert spline point here. Yeah, that one. FEMA be like, yeah, the FEMA. Yeah, no, not the longest. The like most people, right? That's what it was. It was the maximum number of people. Uh, longest is a different story. Longest, you're maybe actually talking about some of the like super luxurious trains, um, and that would be an interesting one. Because the other thing is, if you really want to get into longest train, you're going to very quickly run into train with following section, right? You know, trains would get too long. They'd throw in a second section of them. So now you have a limiting factor. It's when did they make the longest passenger train? Yeah, auto train, but steam. Yeah, no, it's the auto train, but half of that isn't passenger cars. But then again, what counts as a passenger car? Uh, because like nobody stays in a dining car. Um, the city of everywhere, yeah. Okay. Homes and homes, and then we have this here. I do want to put like an unloading rack here. This is going to be a real pain in the butt to switch. Tell you that much. No, let's not insert oven joke here. Okay. This industry right here has been the bane of my existence because it's been the thing. Like these two areas have been the thing keeping me from having one contiguous, uh, like thing of scenery. You know, uh, laughing at my factor of adhesion, LMFOA. Yeah, I'm just so happy with how this friggin' town looks. I'm I'm so happy with how this town looks. I can't even, I keep saying it, and it's gonna look way better when. Do you want to know if they fix the switch panels yet? You are a member. You need to get on the group's IO. You need to talk to Walt about that. Um, if you're not in the group's IO, you need to get on the group's IO. Um, let me see, because I got an email about it today, but I'm the president, so I should probably check on these things. I think I gotta log in with my email account. Yes, I do. Toggle switch tortoise mode operators. This was posted yesterday. Yeah, so. Oh, wait. Yeah, no. Hoping to install a replacement power supply this coming week, Tuesday or Wednesday. So we might have the. We might have the. Um, we might have the layout back by the end of next week, the end of this coming week, like back in full force. Yeah, talk to Walt about that if you see him, about getting on the groups.io. I assume I don't see why junior members would not be allowed on. I just never figured that one out. Okay. I also need to figure out what's going in here, and I was thinking row houses, but actually I'm thinking like triple deckers now. If I can get some other like things that look like the Boston three deckers that can go in here, that's probably going to be great. And I don't know if I can fit them back to back, but I'm willing to try because they're pretty deep. They're pretty deep building. Yeah, we communicate through alligator waves. Oh no, sorry, that's east. Yeah, pretty deep buildings. It's interesting if we can get these two to go back to back and have like a little alley in between them. Okay, they're not going to fit. So the back of this looks like the back of an effing, like, New Orleans steamboat, If I can push that right up against the edge there, and just... Ooh, just barely. It'd be fun if I could interlock the staircases. Almost can. But yeah, no, that's not enough room. It's very close, but it's not quite enough room. Part of me wants to just say F it and scoot the roads back, but that is so much more trouble than it's worth. So, yeah. What I do appreciate about these is that they have a foundation so that they can sit on uneven ground and not look really, really dumb. If I slide the road over, I have to redo all the intersections. It's not worth it. I need to find some other Boston or some other three deckers that aren't so deep. But that's what I want over here. Yeah. I mean, if I did, I could straighten this out, and I think this is the narrowest part, but I still don't think I could fit them in these blocks, and then I'm just inviting headache. Especially if I get over here, because these intersections were a humongous pain in the butt. Oh, and these intersections I missed the corners on. So let me do that. Nope. Hold on. Let's go into Surveyor 1 so that I know what I'm doing a little bit better. Surveyor Classic. If they ever remove Surveyor 1, it's going to be a very sad day, and I'm going to have to... it's going to be like going back to Trainz 2006, and I'm, 14 years old and figuring out how to play this game for the first time. It's going to be incredible. Want to buy a Hawaiian 3-foot 06? No, I don't. Sadly, I don't have anywhere to put it. Okay. If it was 2-foot, maybe, maybe I could know some people, but... Okay, let's put this over here. And yeah, that looks really goofy, but that's okay. Just want to cover that. Oh, never mind. Raise that up. Come on. Like so. It fills in the corner, and that's good enough. If they do that, I'm canceling my subscription. Yeah, no, I know, like people would riot, but I'm trying to approach this from like a level-headed point of view. Uh, if in the future, right, they were to ever remove Surveyor 1 in favor of a Surveyor 2.0, like centric ecosystem, it would be relearning the world, right? It'd be relearning the world. Assuming that, again, I'm assuming that the reason, I'm assuming that they managed to port over all the settings and all the features and everything, like everything that's missing, right? And which, for all I know, they could already be there. That's sort of half my problem. Um, but it would be learning to fly again. You know what the heck was that? Oh, hi Venkman, baby. Oh, never mind. It was his tail. I thought he was. I thought the cat was playing with the little toy that we got him, but no, he's just sitting next to me, swishing his tail across the floor. Um. Okay. Paint, scrapbook data, and I've got to go through this whole rigmarole again. Oops. No, I want the trees. Ground height, none. Texture, none. Oh, sorry, overwrite. Meshes, overwrite. Splines, none. Effect layers, none. Okay. This is honestly a really cool, like, being able to do this with a scrapbook is maybe one of my favorite things about Surveyor 2. Super underrated feature. Surveyor 2 on its own is kind of underrated, I think. It is pretty neat. Maybe it's just underrated by me, right? Um, hell, where am I? What? Why did my dad just text me, where am I? Oh, he's at the White Mountain Central. That's cool. Clark's Bears. Well, I'm going to say Clark's Trading Post. I'm not sure if he knows the name's changed. Clark's Trading Post. It's the only place with a Shea in New Hampshire. Um, okay. Where am I? Oh, thanks, East. Where am I? Is it going to be a picture of your computer screen? That's not my password. See, now I'm never getting anything done. Oh, yeah, no, it's a picture of my friggin' balding head. Thanks. I need to get the camera down here so that you're not just looking at the top of my head all the time. At some point, I will go bald, and that will be blinding. Um, okay, I'm beginning to have a new idea for this river here, which is going to be super obnoxious, but yeah. Okay, hold on. Let's go back into Surveyor Classic, because again, I'm not happy with how this river looks. It is too linear. It needs to weave a little more. So I'm actually going to grab this. I'm going to turn the radius up, and I'm going to plateau with a high sensitivity, and I'm going to fill this in. And now I'm going to think about where I want this to go, because now we have, yeah, we've pretty much healed it. It's still going to be a little lumpy, but honestly, that's not a bad thing. We do need more like weird terrain aberration uh, in this town. But if we turn the sensitivity way down, keep the radius where it is, and wow, okay, all right. So I want it to go this way and that way. And we're going to do this by raising and lowering land carefully. Now, that is sort of the width I'm looking at. Um, let's see what we can do with the plateau tool. And I talked about having a road that's sort of been broken by this. I think it's actually going to be this one right here now. No, actually, that's an important thoroughfare. I don't think we should break that road. Okay, so maybe we won't have a broken road. Maybe it'll be... No, maybe we won't. We will still have some stuff that is conforming to the contours as provided by this river. Or really more of a stream or a brook or a kill or whatever your regional name for very small river is. No more snapping just in the wrong spot every time. Oh yeah. See, I haven't oh, coordinate. Oh yeah. Like along axes, you mean, right? Or am I not? Am I missing something? Like you can do physical, like numerical coordinates. Because if so, that's really cool. Okay. All right, we gotta shallowize the river a little bit. Oh, I can straight up put in coordinates for objects. Interesting. Yeah, that I did not know. That's cool. I have to experiment with that. You know, I'm kind of itching to get to Gilson City because I really want to make another super convoluted terminal setup like the one I made in MPS that got exploded. Um, yeah, rotating and moving on any axis is really nice. That's something that is that's a very good feature. Um, yeah, not Z fighting, kit bashing buildings. These are all really good reasons why Surveyora 2 is important to learn. It really opens the doors to a lot of things. And I'm not like upset that I slept on it because I wasn't ready to dig in. Yeah, it's dead. I wasn't ready to dig in. I'm so glad I'm into it now. I'm not gonna rag on past me, you know. Okay. These days, in terms of music, I know I just keep coming like back around to that. In terms of music these days, I listen to just about everything. There is very little that I will not. And frankly, I don't even know if like I could even pick out a genre that I don't like. You know, just like objectively don't like. There are there are some genres that I like less. You know, I know there are some like easy punching bags like pop country. Um, but I'm not even going to go out and like say some of these things are bad per se, or even that I don't really like them, because even these, you know, even genres that are sometimes quite fairly maligned doesn't mean that they don't have some good music. Uh, okay, let's see if I can actually bring this to the edge of the river here. Those spline points are pretty far away. It's not ideal. Um, doing the roads on this side of town is going to be a little tricky. But at least we have a river that goes in a funny angle now, and it doesn't just go in a straight line. We're still going to have to figure out where it goes, and I think it's going to come over here and eventually parallel this road and head out of town. Um, because there seems to be a minor valley in here. If not, we're going to have to figure out one. We're going to have to make one. But, yeah. That's the other thing. I think this is some of the area that we've worked on that's furthest from the train tracks, which is weird to think about because it's not that far from train tracks. But like right here, in in uh, in Bellington and South Bellington, that's about as far as it gets. That and here, which this area is not done. Um, okay, and then this. Thinking. Uh, this actually I'd like to use this bridge here. Now the thing is, that's probably going to go down here instead of else. Actually, it might go here. Give me that. Nope. Give me that. Because this has our abutments. So let's try and manipulate this in Severa 2 and see if we can get it to go to a useful spot. And this is definitely going to be enough to span this and fit our road, and it's a reasonably sized span for this river too. We're probably going to have to make, do some adjustments with the river, but how far can I stretch that? Okay, that's about as far as I can stretch it. I can't go any further than that. That's probably fine. Also, this was the road that I was working with, so I guess I wasn't. I was worried about the wrong thing, but oh well. Insert spline point here. Slide that over to here. Insert spline point here. Slide it over to here. And we are actually going to have to replace this road with something else, probably macadam again. But for now, what I want to do is make sure this is sort of level. Or level with the ground. We need to get the ground underneath it looking okay. Alright. Replace with selected asset. That is substantially wider. So the easiest thing to do to fix that is probably to drop one of the sidewalks. Scoot it over and drop one of the sidewalks. Replace spline with selected asset. And then this can be replaced with, and we'll see which sidewalk it is. Replace spline with selected asset. It actually almost fits. I think we can make it fit. Hold on. Replace spline with selected asset. Okay. It does fit. That's great, actually. I didn't expect that at all. Do I want to throw in another spline point to, like, get this back up to this level? Because it might honestly be kind of worth it to do that. To just roll with the changes. No, roll with the curvature of what we've got going on here. Now this also should be straightened, which should help those vertical curves a little bit. And by help, I mean force them to be worse. Smooth ground underselected. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. And that's a little low. It would be interesting to grab a couple of, like, don't enter when flooding signs for that. Okay, that's okay. This area needs to be textured and detailed. I've been putting that off, so we might as well do it. And I'm still not happy about the industries. I do want to go through, and we need to figure out what the end goal of this is going to look like. I've decided that the AI is probably too temperamental for me to really do what I originally wanted to do. And I'm willing to give the Living Railroad a shot at filling that void. I'm going to have to learn what Living Railroad needs or will need from me to work properly. But honestly, it makes more sense for me to go that route instead of trying to trying to make an apple out of an orange. Trying to make an apple pie with oranges. That's a saying I just made up. I'm sure there's a better saying. But trying to create something with tools which were not designed to create that thing. Especially when there now exists a tool that is designed to create that thing. And I have been kind of ignoring it to this point because I'm afraid of it. I'm afraid of having to do a lot of work for it. But the thing is, we're gonna have to do a lot of work in any case, right? Oh man, we're gonna have to do a lot of work in any case, and I think doing it in the direction that actually will give us a return, theoretically, is the smart version, is the smart alternative. Um, so as much as I want to sit down and do all the programming, maybe letting the game figure itself out is better, if it can in fact figure itself out. Okay. Remains to be seen, but, we'll see. Remains to be seen. What to do with this road here? I'm going to put a spline point in here. I think I'm actually going to remove the gradient on it so that it jumps back up to the top. And then I'm going to make that advance, and then I'm going to straighten that out, and it'll make the vertical curves worse. Then we'll do that, and I think we should lower specifically this corner to make it look a little more sane. We should probably do that over here too. And that one right there needs to come up. Okay. That looks pretty good. We've got one bridge out of 3 for this little creek. Well, 4. That's not really a bridge. What to put on this corner here, and also what to do with this whole distribution plan. Now, I talked about making this all pavement, which honestly is probably not a bad way to do it. But thought occurred to me, why don't I just put this over here, make this pavement, and scoot this over, or put it on this side? Because we've got room behind it. I could scoot it over by like an entire building length and still have enough room. Instead of trying to have semis coming in and out over the track. Because that's not a bad idea at all. Frankly, no matter where we put it, we're going to have that problem. But I could scoot this propane dealer over. And this is begging for me to put a building that's shaped like this here. Begging. So that has very few polygons. Well, that's interesting. We've got 2 tracks that are supposed to run through that. I want it to be sort of a long and thin building. Maybe I can take a bunch of these and put them next to one another. That I like doing a lot. Okay. Let's put this here, and then jump into Surveyor 2. Surveyor 2.0. Although the ground underneath here is in need of something. It's in need of some desperate attention. Let's see. Keep going this way. Are these? No, these are not staying exactly next to one another. That's interesting. Could you diversify the traffic with fertilizer traffic? Yeah, it's probably a good idea. We could do that. The Mansfield branch, I mean, it is a Granger branch, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have other stuff going on. There are probably going to be a couple mills up there, not too many, but some. And fertilizer traffic heading up makes sense. There's going to be some military traffic because there's I think Fort Cobra we named out there. The Cobra people, my people, will build a car for you, and it'll do over 200 miles an hour. Yeah, so Cobra is going to be out there, and yeah, speaking of getting canceled, anyway. Uh, okay, well now there's Shaquat. I should have fixed. I should have. Okay, hold on. Well, now it's all the same level, so if I set them back to 0, it should be fine. 0, 0, and 0. Alright, now we have a very long building. Although, I think it needs to be spun around. Wait, now, well, yes. Okay, back to Surveyor 2. We need to spin this building around. What if there's a fertilizer plant on the line, so the raw materials go up the line and fertilizer comes back down? Ooh, that's an interesting idea. Let me go put that in my ideas document. I don't know a lot about Granger branches, so do I have a tab or an area for Mansfield Branch Railroad? Mansfield Branch Railroad, car storage at far end, fertilizer plant in Randall. Oh, okay, we've already had this conversation. Takes in ammonia, puts out fertilizer bag on pellet and general goods. Something plane related in Douglas, Army Air Station Cobra. Okay. Yeah, I already wrote that down. So we're already there. We're good. Spin. Yeah, fertilizer plant in Randall. Which is appropriate because if it explodes, it will end just like Randall. Okay. I think I want to slide this kit bash back so it's sort of in line with this. And then, do I want to slide this over? Yeah. Now, something else that crossed my mind, yeah, was this, because I want there to be a chain link fence around this building and a gate like back here. Okay. There's going to be a chain link fence around this. Around this, this factory here. A gasometer that's sort of tucked away is a little rare. I feel like you see them in like the middle of cities. But this is going to be a really interesting vibe when we have coal cars lined up here, and then cattle cars lined up there, and then something trundling through. It'd be fun to take the last, I don't know, 10 minutes and set up a screenshot. If I can. I mean, there's nothing else that's going to be tall. This is like the tallest structure in both towns. And that includes... Yeah, there are a few giant buildings over here. Well, actually, sorry. There's that, which I think is going to be the tallest structure in both towns. But I'm not sure if I'm going to keep some of these bigger buildings. The balance of what Bellington is going to look like in terms of sort of commercial buildings and downtown is going to be a really tricky balance to strike, I think, because it needs to sell its own size, but it can't be too big. Can't be too big. Okay. Replace with selected asset. That's a weirdly shaped curve. Replace spline with selected asset. Okay. Half the reason I did that was so that we could get the this intersection figured out. Insert spline point here. Insert spline point here. Now the thing that I think about when I hear Army Air Station Cobra, I think about Typhoon Cobra, which is a major hurricane that hit the Pacific Fleet during World War II. Which, you know, that's just an interesting thing to sort of pay homage to. Okay. Nope. Click the wrong button. There, 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 and there. And yeah, I know that this is a little bit wonky because of the way that it is, but that's okay. Straighten spline, and straighten spline, which will help it out a little bit. I'll pull it back to there or so to try and square it off. And I should probably jump into Surveyor Classic and make sure that all of these are the same level, because I don't know how to do that in Surveyor 2. So, grab you and apply. And there's not too much Z fighting there, so that's good. Now we have some intersections over here. This is actually going to be macadam up until there, I think. Unless I want to keep this as asphalt and have this road turn into that road and let it follow the river. That could be an interesting one. Interesting something to do there. Still not entirely sure how to fill this area up. But we should probably just do this. We should do this while we're here, while we're thinking about it. While we have the opportunity, right? Oz forest floor darker. No, I want the ballast, the dirt ballast. Okay. Then this. Yeah, if I can get this area done. I mean, I've done a really terrible job of focusing so far this episode. The ADHD is here, and it's here to stay. If I can get this area done today, like maybe not even this whole block, but just this industry, so that these things are connected, and then I can focus on this maybe next time. That's ambitious. That would be a big victory. It'd be a big W. W for victory. Yeah. This area is going to be a lot of this kind of gray ballast, I would imagine, but with some interludes between a victory for the central, yeah. With some other kinds of gravel. In fact, I could probably... That's too much. Could probably extend this all the way from here and just sort of draw a line through the campus as to where that's going to be. If we have sort of a loading bay back here or something, we probably have some gravel back there. And then, yeah, this building, and then that back there probably doesn't need it. So let's grab this PBR City Dirt, which is a really nice texture that I just haven't used very much of, for the surroundings of these buildings. Surroundings of the buildings there. And then we'll fill in the rest with another kind of sort of dirt. We'll fill in with the dirt and leaves, I think. Except for up here, because this area is going to be a little bit manicured, I think. There's no door on this building. I mean, there are on the sides, and there's this guy in the front. No, that's not a door. What is this? I thought that was a front door. Where the hell is the front door on this building? Where are you supposed to enter from? The side? I guess this side here. Hold on. No. Whatever. There's no front door. Doesn't matter. Give me this, the dirt and leaves. You know how I talk about, for those that are budding route builders or people that have experience but are looking to get better and looking for techniques, you know, the people that come to those questions, come here with questions, which I always appreciate. even if they're not Trainz related. Like the music question was a great one. I could spend a lot of time talking about what I listen to right now and what I typically listen to and what my iPod is full of and what I'm full of, which is crap. Um, what I'm full of. Um, Also, I'm getting stuffy for no reason. That's fun. Getting stuffy in the middle of the show. That's always good. Okay. But I talk about a lot of the times I'll talk about finding a group of textures that you like that go well together and sticking with that group and using that as your sort of base. Because if your route covers, a small to medium area, or even a large area, depending, uh, you are liable to sort of stay within the same biome, and thus all of your grasses and foliage are going to sort of be the same, you know? You don't really want to be going too far afield with your with your foliage and things, because it's going to be jarring. Um, it's going to be, why is this only in this area? Why have we found an endangered species of grass that only lives in 3 people's lawns, right? Um, that's not what you want to be thinking about or worrying about, or what you want your the people that are they're playing on your route to be looking at. Um, you want to immerse them. You want to find something that looks good and always looks good. So yeah, let's. I think what I want to do actually is make this grassy along here, along the edge there. In fact, I think I went too hard on that. That's better. Oh, okay. That was a little strange. Um, so we have no shoulder, we have no sidewalk there. Interesting. Okay. Um, but what I've been doing as I've slowly moved along in the creation of this route is I started off like that, and looking at a handful of textures that I thought went very well together and looked good and looked cohesive, right? The 3 that I always point to are sort of the 3 that I'm using for the base of the forest. Even though I only ever use one of them outside of the forest, there are a few textures that go very well together. I think they're thematically appropriate, and I use them in the appropriate context. Um, this what I've been doing since then is slowly expanding that repertoire, looking for textures that go well with the ones I already have, and not leaving what I have behind, but incrementally adding to it, so we're slowly expanding the scope here. And a technique that can maybe help you, that's a little trippy, uh, a technique that can maybe help you transition between biomes is as you go along, as you build, pick up one new texture, carry it for a little while, drop one of the old ones, go for a little while, pick up another new one, go for a little while, drop one of the old ones. And very slowly you will transition from one to the other. And if it's taken you enough time and enough distance, you might not even notice until you get out the other side. And that's good. That's what you want. Um, no, okay, that doesn't look good. You want to not be thinking about it as a player transition through. Not as a builder, because as a builder you have to put a lot of thought into that actually. But as a player, as you transition through, you want to not be thinking about it. And I don't have an example of that yet, because for the most part, we don't really have a place to make an example of that. Now, the only exception, the only thing that could even like begin to be considered an exception, is the transition from the sort of New Englandite region and the town, the built up region into the hello dragon, uh, into the farm fields, and that is a transition that is a little less subtle than I would like, because you have on this side of the river, you have some smaller fields, but once you cross the river, it's like entering a bit of a different planet, you know. Uh, but it still is it's still something to pull from. It's something you might be able to learn from. It is if you look at oh wow, look at that big space that I missed. Big bald spot in terms of texture right here. Uh, and it's right in front of an area with very few trees too. So that's that's astounding that I never noticed it. Um, okay, a little bit more right there. Uh, if you look at this area here, you go from generally speaking, your situation is the dense forest and some grazing land is what that is right there. Now, as you come along, also, did I put down? Oh, I did. Yeah, I put down turf effects over this. You come into this area, and it's this little town, which I love this town. You've got some very small farm fields, including one that's not even fallow. That's basically just, it's no longer a field, right? Um, and then you cross the river and you're back into these forests, but now your fields are bigger. They've taken on a different character, but there's still some of the old self in the new self. They're still walled, they're still relatively small, and they are irregularly shaped. So you go a little further, and you drop the walls, you know, maybe I should have kept more of those, but they're getting larger. The fields are slowly getting larger, and they're still irregularly shaped, but they are growing, and they're growing, and they're growing, and then you cross the river, and you're in an area where now the landscape is dominated by fields. And you've gone from, in just a few tiles, which again, faster than I would have liked, you've gone from an area where the fields are kind of an afterthought, which is over there, to here, where the fields are very clearly sharing space with these forested zones. Which I forgot that I did all this. This is really cute. This area right here. Um, uh, Sharing space with these forested zones, and then you get a little bit further, and then the fields begin to dominate the forested zones. And then you have an area where there are basically no more forested zones. After you cross through, a couple of transitional spaces. And transitional spaces are good, but they don't always exist in real life. They're very good in model railroads. In situations where, and this is the, very tight turn, and I acknowledge that, but in situations where you have limited space, transitional zones will help to cushion the blow of going from one sort of biome to the next. Now, I'm doing something else as you come through here. I've changed the terrain style. Uh, so we went from what are basically rolling hills over there to much flatter areas that are still rolling a little bit, and you can see the grade is rising and falling with respect to the land around it. But for the most part, everything's sort of vaguely level, and you can see the hills in the background. And again, we pass through a transitional area, which this is less of a transitional area and more of a, hey, I missed a spot, more of a very clearly, a geographic feature. But either or, right? Transitional areas that are and can blend in as geographic features. Those are the best ones. But you pass through an area that is decidedly different, right? And once you come out the other side, you are met with a landscape that is very different than what you were looking at a few minutes ago, really. If you're traveling along this at 60 miles an hour, it takes you a few minutes. Not very, very long, but an amount of time. Uh, and yeah, by the time you get to here, by the time you cross this river, your trees are more or less just limited to areas surrounding rivers where it's hard to put in fields. Your fields are very large, and your road, your river, and your railroad are your only real defining features out here. The only thing that really separates anything from anything else. Otherwise, it's all fields. And you have the trees come, the trees go, the trees come, and then finally they're gone, and you're out in effectively open field just in time to get to Pan Am, which is sort of the last gasp of trees, and then you're out in something completely foreign. So it takes, at 60 miles an hour, it takes about 15 minutes to get from here to here. To get from the Scioto River Valley to Pan Am and the whatever we named this river, which I don't know if we gave this river a name. It doesn't have a name on it, but I wasn't always the best with that. And then you're out to an area where there are very, very few stands of trees at all. This is perfect farm landscape, no aberrations, all fields, they're all about the same size, and you are cutting a dead straight line, on a cardinal direction no less, through the middle of it. These trees appearing are the heads up, like, hey, things are about to change again. And you'll notice when you're driving through, landscapes out there, when you're driving through farm country, you are forewarned by change when you see trees appear in the distance, right? It is, oh shoot, we're about to encounter something. It's usually a terrain aberration, and then the terrain aberration encouraged human settlement. In this case, a river that encouraged this small town to spring up, which has a strange name that I always forget. Constance. And so you run through here, and you have another empty period, but you don't really get that reprieve for long. You're coming into town. And there's still going to be plenty of farm fields. This side of town is still going to be almost all fields. And honestly, this area, once you get beyond these roads, is going to be all farms. This is a reprieve in the middle of it. It's a town that's a pair of towns that sprung up because of a confluence of rivers and abundance of water power, and because all of the stuff coming from those farms has to go somewhere before it gets sent to the city. So yeah. Back to work. That was a long distraction. That was a long, long distraction, and it wasn't even spurred by anything anyone asked, which, wow. Apologies, folks. I hope you enjoyed that. Alright, let's do this. I know that Gloria loved that. Gloria loves when I monologue. Oh, right, they still have the headphones on. They can't hear me. Oh, you don't?
No.
Why? Oh, okay. Oh, you needed something to listen to while you ate? Like a YouTube video to watch? I understand that. There's a subreddit called YouTube Lunch, where people post videos to watch while you eat. I know of its existence. I've never gone there to look for anything, but I was tempted to today for no particular reason. And no, Mopac, I cannot repeat that. Oh, I will say, and this just crossed my mind. And I'll have to say it again to Pat and to everybody else. But on Sunday, when folks are at the when folks are at the Trolley Museum, especially if we get there relatively early and go to spend the day and whatever. An opportunity. It'll be a great opportunity to sit and trade. I know there are picnic tables there. I don't know what the weather is going to be like in Kennebunkport on Sunday, but hopefully it will be acceptable. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Okay. Oh man, I'm just like, hold on. I apologize for this. Oh, oh no. I'm not stuffed up. It's just swelling. I'm not stuffed up. I can't blow that out. It's just swelling. Great. I love that. My head. Oh man, it's gonna be like the Silverton all over again. At least it's probably not COVID. Uh, anyway. All right, so let's do this. Actually, let's use that to up against the edge of the building. Hi, Matt. Kenneth's bunkport. Yeah. Okay. This is not bad. It's not coming along poorly. Part of me wants to attach another building here, but this is already kit bashed enough. It's already 4 different buildings. Um, so it is what it is. I don't think I'm gonna mess. I don't think I'm gonna mess that. Oh, good evening, Orion. I missed Orion hopping in. Uh, Me and Matt are in the same chat. OSHA beware. Yeah. No, they're running actually. You know what I want to do? I want to take. Thanks, Matt. Uh, I don't know, Matt. Where are you? Well, I believe you're at boating school. Um, okay, we're gonna put that there. Okay. Uh, Matt sent that over 10 minutes ago. It takes time for the notifications to show up. Even if the text shows up right away, the notifications take a while to like tell me. Um, okay, I want to leave enough of a buffer on this side of the road that I can go ahead and add the grass and everything. I don't know what I want to put over here. I think I'm just gonna go on like Google Maps to a random industrial park and look around. Like a more modern industrial park. Yeah, reload the page, please. Actually, I can probably jump to, let's see. That's a home improvement store. You guys can't see what I'm doing because I'm not sure where I want to go yet. Old Pound Hill Road. That's the crossing there. Okay, that's a warehouse. There are a bunch of warehouses near this, near something. Oh, it's Christensen Way. I'm doxing Milky. Yeah, so we just need a warehouse, is what we need over here. We just need a warehouse. We need a modern looking warehouse. You just want a big tamper. Tampers, oh my god. Go, being disappointed by the lack of modern MOW machinery. Go to the WWF and be even more disappointed. But make sure when you go, you bring ear protection, because I swear to God, I've been to some serious rock shows. Um, the tamper at the WWF is the loudest thing on the planet. Like, the loudest thing on the planet. What is... Hold on. How loud would the sun be if we could hear it? 100 decibels by the time it reaches Earth, according to the Google AI overview, which, as everyone knows, is always trustworthy. Um, but yeah, that has a thing through it. Those both have. The problem is they want to give you warehouses with tracks through them. Um, but yeah, no, I know. Of all people, you're right. You would be aware of the loudness of tampers already. It is just it was flabbergasting how loud they were, how loud it was. My ears were ringing. Holy Moses! Can I get one like a quarter length of that? Uh, I might be able to actually. That looked like something that was one in a series. Uh, Holy crap. Okay, the other one was what? Warehouse 6? That one's Warehouse 4? I'm sensing a theme here. Enormous warehouses. Oh, that's actually perfect for what I need. Yeah, the sun would be a constant roar-like sound. Yeah, no, and I love that. I love that. That's great. Um, oh, and this does have boxcar doors. Can I add something to the... Can I kit bash something onto the back of it to make it, like, less... To hide the boxcar doors? Oh, shoot. You all want to know something fun? Depending on where I go after this program, it could be working with dangerous radiation, as opposed to just like benign radiation. Matt, I'm gonna assume that any radiation you go near is gonna be dangerous radiation. At the very least, it's gonna be hazardous to you, because you'll find a way to make it hazardous to you. All right, we have a vaguely L-shaped building. 98 point. Okay, let's get that to point 8, point 7. Come on, wrong way. There we go. I know there's unironically benign radiation, but not around Matt. Never around Matt. Uh, okay. Uh, okay. One of the NDT methods uses radiography. I still don't understand, like, I don't think I ever got explained what exactly you're doing. I'm also terrible at remembering when I ask, so I don't want to be annoying and ask you again and again what the hell you're doing down there. Uh, but if you wouldn't mind explaining it again, you're welcome to, because I am just continually perplexed. I'm like, Matt's down. I think he's joining the Navy. Uh, Training for being weld inspector. Oh, okay. That's cool. Uh, Gamma is the bad. Yeah, no, Gamma is the bad. Gamma's not good for you. Alpha is, Alpha's okay. Beta's not great. Just like don't swallow something that's emitting beta radiation. And then, uh, then yeah, and then don't go near the rest of it. Anyone got news from East Terminal Railway? Are they done? I don't know. Uh, East Terminal Railway. Where is that? What is that? I have no idea if they are done or not. Okay, let's just fill this in here. I know I did talk a little bit about news earlier. This is so not the news podcast. I also talked about wanting to have this entrance be gated. I don't know if that's going to be possible now, so I might string a fence this way and put the gate here. That's probably the right way to go. Oh, it was shoreline being revitalized by husband and son. I think it's done. Damn. Like, done in the bad way? Done like the Halo show? Okay, chain link fence. Rip the Halo show. Okay. This is going to be an old school chain link fence, and I'm just going to put it in a straight line from here into the trees. Damn. It's a shame to hear that it's done in the bad way. Okay. Okay, so that's I have shied away from putting in like actual physical gates ever, so that's probably going to be good enough. It's probably as far as I'm taking it. I am going to plant some trees along this road here. Hold on. Show search filter. Tree. I don't want two-dimensional trees. Come on. I want trees that start with the word tree. Okay. A boxwood is basically a shrub. Elm tree. Are we calling this Elm Street? Why do they keep getting bigger? Oh my god. Holy Moses. I wanted small elm trees. I wanted little ones. Like, this one was too big. Okay, that's fine. No. Oh my god, why do they get so big? No, 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 stop, stop. That one's fine. That one's good. Okay. Now this feels like a modern industrial park sort of thing, or office park or whatever. This reminds me of where I go to work in Glastonbury. So, 2 times in the past 2 weeks, I had to do something terrible, which is I went to Connecticut. I visited Connecticut. It was almost 3 times because I was going to go ride the Valley Railroad, aka the best part of Connecticut, um, with TJ and Mew and Casey, but that ended up not working out because Gloria's party was the previous night, and I didn't really want to leave them here to like deal with that, deal with the cleanup and the hangover, and also we decided to go to the beach, so it was worth it. But I was going to go to Connecticut a third time, but the other two were sadly for actual like work purposes, which was, no fun. But yeah, there is no bright side. I was going to say on the bright side, there is no bright side. My car did not have air conditioning. Still doesn't have air conditioning, incidentally. I haven't heard back from Tony on the other car, but he said it might be done by the end of the week, which on the one hand is great, but on the other hand it means I got to pay him. So, double-edged sword there. Just getting the parts has been annoying. There's been nothing really like to write home about there. No catastrophes. No, oh my god, it's so broken. We need to go and find other parts and replace this and that, and it's going to be a gazillion dollars and take 100 years. No, no, no. It's just getting parts for 30-year-old cars is difficult and time consuming. But I'm really looking forward to having air conditioning back when I get that car back. Like, really, really looking forward to it. Um, but I had to go... Yeah, I had to go to some areas in Connecticut. I actually went over to where the Connecticut Trolley Museum is. Yeah, not the Shoreline Trolley, the Connecticut Trolley Museum. I've never been there before. Like, I've never been in there before. I've been over there. But that day they were actually running. And I was very tempted to, just when I left, go over to the Trolley Museum. But because it was edging on 90 degrees, and because I had no AC in the car, what I did was, we finished up checking the utilities at the intersection, which, the reason we were there, which maybe some people might be curious about, comparing some plans for new signals, or for, not new, but redoing some signals, new equipment, new pedestrian accommodations, that sort of thing. And going out there with all of the Department of Public Works people, the state DOT people, and the power company, and the cable company, and the telephone company, and the water people, and the gas people, all the utility companies, that sort of thing. And looking at our plans and seeing if there's anything in the way. Seeing if there's anything that wasn't recorded on the survey, or that we sort of underestimated how much of a problem it would be, or, we didn't know the height of utilities that we have to put a traffic signal mast arm underneath, and they're too low, so we've got to request new power poles to raise them up. Yeah, there are always things in the way. Um, so that's why we were going out there, and we were doing like 5 signals, 4 signals on the first day and 5 on the second day. The first day ended, and I'm like cooking, right? I'm dying, and uh, and the we sort of wrap up, and so I get back in the car and I take a big drink of my very warm water, which is of course always kind of sad when it's warm, uh, and then I like take my high vis off, and then I take my button down off, and I just drive home shirtless because there's nothing else I can do. There's nothing else. As soon as I'm like out of sight of my coworkers and the utility people that I've never met before, as soon as I can't make a bad impression, I'm just you know I'm gonna be as comfortable as I can be, which is to say, not very comfortable. Um, I'm gonna go back and do the filters again. Orion is asking about the RGS, narrow gauge DNRGW, or the any known 460s. Well, there is RGS 20, and her class, which was originally Florence and Cripple Creek, uh, as well as quite a few others, I believe. Quite a few other classes of 460. You've got to remember, or you got to consider, I suppose, that the 10-wheeler was a very well-regarded mixed traffic engine for a long period of time. It's sort of, in some respects, it's almost the gold standard of mixed traffic locomotives, certainly at that size, but maybe at any size, because once you push past that size, once you get into the realm of like proper medium locomotives, which they're medium by my count, but that might be different for other people. We're talking Pacifics and Mikados. You have a degree of specialization. Um, your 460 is your last mixed traffic locomotive. Now you can have mixed traffic Pacifics, and you can have uh, like it comes back around with the bigger engines, right? Northerns are mixed traffic. Even mountain types are fairly mixed traffic. Um, Berks are pretty much exclusively for freight because they're designed to be sort of like wide open throttle for a long time. Um, and you're putting together train set for one of the Minecraft military tutorial channels. Oh yeah, I mean, if you're doing military stuff, RGS 20 was owned by the federal government for the purpose of hauling uranium. Mark has some great videos on that, or he's got at least one. I don't know. But Mark has content with regard to RGS 20's thing, and I made sure to show. Uh, Gloria the stencil that says "Property of U.S. Department of Defense" or whatever it says on the side of RGS 20, uh, because that's the guys they have her painted up in right now. Why am I not? Oh, I'm holding the wrong button. That's why I'm not spinning. It's like, why does the texture look so crisp? Yeah. I actually think I want to use a different one for that, but I'm not sure what I could use for this. Um, in fact, what I think I'll do is I'll actually eat the corner a little bit to make it seem a little more realistic. There we go. Yeah, this area is filling out. Okay. Okay. I like the way this is looking. We actually are going to get this done, aren't we? Um, But yeah, I mean, RGS-20 with some uranium cons, that would do it. That's your mixed traffic engine. Um, and I left out a few wheel arrangements. Obviously, there are things like the Mastodon that that's a horse of a different color, right? Most railroads did not have Mastodons, or at the very least, they didn't have enough of them for them to make up a significant portion of their mainline fleet. Um, quite a few railroads, like a surprising number of railroads, had a handful of classes, or at least one class of Mastodon, but not a ton. Uh, would have gone with the K-27 to 36, but they're way too popular for first commission. They are. I mean, the Rio Grande Ks are iconic. They are. And I think I've ridden behind all of the surviving classes of K at this point. I don't remember if I've ridden behind 91, but I have ridden in the cap, so that counts, I think. Uh, Either way, it I've ridden physically behind 91 on a speeder. Actually, no, I think 20. That was all 20. I think 91 was put away by the time I got in the speeder with Weibold. But at any rate, to cease the memeing, the Rio Grande Ks are extremely iconic because they lasted so long. You know, the Rio Grande Ks were running in revenue service on the same year that we landed on the moon. And if that doesn't blow your mind, I don't know what will. You know, uh, we had revenue service steam locomotives in the United States the same year we landed on the moon. Effectively mainline too, because I mean that's the narrow gauge mainline. It's not much to write home about, but it is what it is. It's no transcon, but it's something. Okay, so we have this. I'm gonna try to blow my nose again because I'm struggling out here. Just need like an antihistamine. Okay. I was out of sight. I don't really want to. You guys don't all need to watch me blow my nose. Is the thing. Uh, okay. I want to put a couple of. I want to put some single family houses along this road. So We're gonna start throwing down houses. And not row houses, like actual regular single family houses. What the heck was that? What is this? This isn't a house. This is a raider base in Fallout 4. That's what that is. Wow, that's wild. Next time I'm out west, I got 3 trains to ride, 2 are narrow gauge. DNS and cats. Do the DNS first. That's my opinion. Because, and the reason I say that is because the Cumbres and Toltec is better in every way. And I wouldn't want you to be disappointed by the Durango and Silverton after you get to ride the Cumbres and Toltec. The Cumbres and Toltec, you're gonna want to ride. You're gonna want to ride from Chama, and you're gonna want to go all the way. People call the far end of the railroad there, the Alamosa end of the railroad. I guess that's the east end. People call that boring. I don't agree. It's different, but it's not boring. You get the tunnels, which that's cool as well, but you get very different running comparatively. Should I put a Quonset hut over here? I feel like I should put a Quonset hut over here. No, that's fine. Should put one somewhere. Put one here. Oh, that's open. Can I have it closed, please? Nope. Oh, what about a blue one? Whoa. Okay, there we go. Yeah, ride from Chama all the way to Antonito. It's worth it. It's a fantastic ride. Um, it's beautiful the whole way through, honestly. And I'm gonna put a boxcar in this guy's backyard. Uh, and the food is pretty good too. It's not blow you away good, but it's made better by the fact that you rode a steam train to get there. This house has no door. I'm realizing that. Uh, Interesting. Now we got roundhouses. That's not what I really was looking for. We got roundhouses and row houses. We've got all the different kinds of house that I didn't have enough of before, and now I have too many of. So, there's that to take away from this. Don't download too much stuff. You'll lose it. Just kidding. Download as much as you want. The download station is free, and it's wonderful. It does feel interesting getting back into just putting down houses again. I feel like it's been so long. I want this house to be the farthest one towards the end here because it's got that it's got the stilts going on. So when the river rises, this guy doesn't get flooded out. Oh, I got pinged somewhere. What is this? I don't know. I got pinged for a poll in another server. I don't really have a dog in that race. I'm not gonna respond. They just teleport to exit. That's all. Okay, so we got this. Yeah, I know. It's friggin' no door on that house. I'm not gonna worry about it. I know I've mentioned it now, so it's out there in the universe, but hopefully we can just all collectively forget about that. I'm gonna squeeze in a fourth house. Actually, this has got to be the one at the end, but I'm gonna squeeze in a fourth house. I don't want it to be on pillars. We need a lumber yard. We need a lumber yard. I forgot about that. I mentioned it a couple of times, but I forgot about that. We do have a lot of lighthouses because I downloaded a whole bunch of lighthouses, didn't I? We have a bunch of different styles of house here, which is fine. Yep, that looks pretty good. I actually do like the way those are wedged in there. JR Generic Steel Warehouse. I mean, JR stuff is nice. That's, I'm pretty sure, on the DLS. We need to have a lumber yard, and it needs to be rail served. And that's... I don't know where to put it. I actually think the best spot to put it might be over here. Coming down off of this. Maybe just like right here. Because I don't want to put it on the other side of the highway here. That just seems kind of foolhardy. I don't want to do that. I don't want to have two highway crossings. And I need to think about where would they have put a lumber yard. And honestly, I think it would be closer to this, but there's not much room over here anymore. I've filled it up with junk. So that narrows it narrows it down a little bit. The only other thing is, I'm going to try to blow my nose again. Okay, that feels a little better. Ugh. I'm sorry. I am sorry. All right. The only other thing is we could fit one over here. We could pull a rail off the main line, but the thing is, a lumber yard is not going to be something that springs up late. A lumber yard is going to be here. It's going to be here for a while. So it's got to be something that appears on some of the older trackage. And honestly, if we do have a lumber yard over here, which lumber, that's a sawmill. Okay. Uh, lumberyard office, lumberyard storage, lumberyard warehouse. Yeah, hot sauce fixes that. I mean, you right. You right. Hot sauce does fix it. Uh, if we put a lumberyard over here, that would mean it would be the only it would be the only commodity that's on Gilson Eastern Trackage, effectively Gilson Eastern Trackage, that has to be switched out by the Mansfield Branch Railroad. At least I would assume so. Now transfer freights are going to be difficult. There's probably a freight train that runs from Olive, which Olive needs help. Olive does not have enough storage. Uh, there's probably a freight train that runs from Olive with what's basically transfer freight and drops it off here. And if two of those cars, if some of those cars, because that's where the lumber is going to come from, um, uh, they're going to have to get brought down here and shunted in over here. That's going to be interesting. Especially if we make it a switch that faces the other way. I don't know. It's a thought. It's a thought. I'm not certain about a lumberyard being over there. I know that we want to have one, but I don't know where. It might even be on the other side of the river, but it doesn't really make sense to be over there. It makes more sense to be over here. Okay. Let's fill this area in, and so that we can start to call it good. It's not good, but we're starting to call it good. Get rid of any stray yellow lines, and then do something that I haven't done in a hot minute, which is to throw down some driveways. Driveway. Can we get some 12-foot concrete driveways? Yeah, that reminds me of home. Nobody on this block is going to have a garage. And this guy's just going to park next to his house. This guy's going to have a driveway off of here. Oops. Driveway off of right here. This guy's going to have one that goes right here. Now, people sometimes consider the fact that houses that are old enough were not built with garages, because you don't need to park your car anywhere if cars aren't invented yet. And not everybody has a carriage house, right? So, wood panel fence. Yeah, okay. This will match this guy's house really nice. But if you go back even further, or if you, not everything is built with actually, this is an interesting one. Not everything's built with a garage, but not everything's built with a driveway. And some of these houses, they had to sort of have driveways retrofitted. You just had a space that was, just land, right? Just grass next to your house, and you had somebody come and pave it. Okay, this is the kind of fence that I was expecting. Fence wood unpainted. Yeah, that'll do. Okay, this. And then I'm going to bring this right up against the thing here. Uh, yeah, you can delete the tracks off of bridge splines with Surveyor 2. It's kind of wild. It honestly, it scares me when I do it because I'm afraid, like, oh god, I'm gonna make the game crash by doing this, right? Like, I just assume that you're absolutely not supposed to be able to do that. Uh, it's not really true. Like, it's something that you can do because of the way the assets are loaded. It's really just a thing attached to another thing. But it 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 scared me the first time I did it, and I mean, it scared me every subsequent time also. But there are a couple places on this map where I think I've done it, if I remember right. Um, okay, so we have this little set of houses here. And I think I actually want to put up a chain link fence here. Or even some actually kind of like industrial fence. Uh, nope, not fene. Fence. Fence. Uh, UK security fence. Yeah, there we go. Something like that. No, that's a little bit too intense. Uh, not a derelict fence, but like... What is this? Arc mesh. Yeah, it's fancy enough. In fact, I'll go around the entire perimeter of this industry with the arc mesh fence. Yeah, nice superstructures, but old track. Yeah, that is a good way to think about it. It's an easy fix, right? Wait a minute. Oh, I thought I combined those. That was my bad. Okay, and then actually I want this to end right here. Pull it a little bit further so that I can straighten it out. And then it's going to be more or less parallel to that curve. Not perfect, but close. Okay. There we go. Oh, you know what? And I need to grab this road. And then I need to grab the one with only one sidewalk, which is, I think, this one. Yep. The runny nose is going to kill me. I'm gonna want to turn my camera off because I look ridiculous. I'm gonna turn my camera off. What is happening to me? I blame Connecticut, honestly. Baby, can you please grab me a plastic bag? Yeah, for one of these trash cans. One of these 5 trash cans I have stacked up next to the desk. Oh boy. Well, this area came out though. I like the way this looks, and I like the way we've got these houses that are smushed in next to one another. Especially because we have several distinct styles, but nothing that really feels out of place. Okay. This is like Nunnaconnecut Hill in Rhode Island. Um, yeah, any of them will do. Man, why do I... What's happening to me? Caught a cold or something. Bye, Venkman. Okay. Best use for wasted space in cities is a simple parking lot, a caboose and a fence line. That's a good one. That's cute. I'm trying to keep stuff from being on display, and I did leave one spot where we could leave stuff on display, but in this case, trying to avoid it. But yeah, we need to do the more houses along the road here, and then I don't think I'm gonna put anything else in this area other than trees. So, yeah. The other thing is, I really didn't want to do this color, but I'm sort of married to it now. It looks good. I just used it as a sort of architectural paint. Whereas what I wanted to use was this, or is this the same texture? Yeah, yeah, it's what I wanted to use. Um, yeah, so let's go. Let's just go under it with this. Honestly, it looks better with the lighter, but I don't want to be inconsistent. The little hints of light grass that are being left behind, those are okay. But find yourself in Rapid City, a park called Storybook as a locomotive. Cool. Okay. Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to come through here with the grass. We need to do our edges of the area. And also we probably need to do the riverside as well. I just need to get this to the point where, yeah. I might do this whole road without pavement markings. It wouldn't really be out of the question, and it would stick out a little bit, but it adds intrigue, as one might say. Uh, it would stick out maybe in a good way, you know? So, okay. Just go along the edge here, and then we're going to... we can't bring them right up to the edge there. We need to leave enough room for the houses, because this is going to be some single-family residential. It's going to be an area where nobody really wants to live, but people do live over here. I'm sure everybody knows those places. Okay. Get the shrubs in. I can't think of anything else to put in this area. That's why I'm just leaving looks like crap nowadays. Damn. Okay. Let's get this taken care of. Yeah, okay. This is something else I was not sure what to do about regarding the shrubs on in this area. I know I wasn't going to go whole hog with them, but they probably should have some kind of presence. And a lot of this needs to be filled in with shrubs. This middle area here, I'm kind of doing the minimum along the edge. And I know it doesn't look like the minimum, but this is not a big area. And there should be at least a row or two behind the grass. Like that. Did I mention most of my childhood was in Rapid City yet? I don't believe you have, but I believe you. Right, let me just check on this. No, okay, nothing exciting. While that loads up, while that gets acquainted, and then we get to go back to the brush tool, back to the scrapbook data, back down into the right, filters, ground height, none, Splines, none. Effect layers, none. Come on. Okay. Let's get that in. There we go. We just about have this one done. Now we do have to put in some more houses. I'm thinking we could fit at least 6, if not 7 or 8. On this stretch, I'm not sure we'll be able to get them squared away. No, not warehouse. This has got the same texture as that. Like the same texture. Let's put that one in the middle. City house, row house, sugar mill warehouse. Whenever I want just regular houses, I never find regular houses. This is a neat one, SAP Old Factory. I don't think I've used that before. So it's going to go in the physical pick list. Down over here. That is certainly turning into a collection. And there's even stuff over here. Abandoned house. I don't really want to put an abandoned house over here. I won't rule it out. Russian country house, especially given the area that we're working in here. I mean, this is like the house from DayZ, you know? I feel I've looted this house countless times. This one specifically. I've died in that house. I've killed in that house. Not row house. If it starts with R, it's going to be a problem. Looks like a prison asset. Well, you know. Okay. We have these New Zealand houses, which are... These are all pretty good. This is, I think, the same model as this one. No, it's close, though. It's close enough. How close can we get these houses? This guy's going to be set back off the road. And then this guy's going to be there. Got to get it kind of close to the right rotation. Don't want row houses or miners' houses. Don't want lighthouses. The Czech house. It's actually a good-sized house. Have that right up on the road there. That's interesting. JR Small Paper Company. Japan house. Wonder why I have that. Okay, we've got just house. We're back to just house. If I can find one of these that doesn't look gaudy. Yeah, that one. Can I shuffle these all around and fit one more house on top of the ones that we already have? I think we can. I think we can. Okay. 7-3. Too many of these are very modern. They're also a little too big to fit in the minuscule space that we have left. There was a very iconic looking house. Although, what are these? Oh, that is a very modern house. No, I want one of the square ones with the little window in the top. Very classic looking. I should just, yeah, there we go. I was saying, I should just, like, click through instead of mashing the up button. There we go. Gang's all here in terms of houses. This guy can come closer, and then most of the I wanted the check house to be the one that's like surprisingly right up on the street, but some of these are, almost all of them are just about as close. Although the main body of the house being that close isn't repeated. So we've got that. That's nice. I haven't done houses in a while. It's nice to be able to scroll through the list and find houses. Okay. Let's grab Erba. And we'll give these guys some lawns. Okay. We've done houses. I don't actually know what to do on this side of this road here. Speaking of road, let's swap this road out with a spline that suits it better. Select every section of the road at once with shift-click and then replace spline. Yep. Right into the woods, right to the wastewater treatment plant. Okay. These other roads are gonna end up being macadam, so we should probably just do that while we're here. Nope, wrong button. Give me this, give me this, give me this, and this. Yeah, I mean, I talked about doing some of these as asphalt, although I think actually this middle one is got to stay asphalt. Because it's going to connect to this, and that's going to run all the way through. There's got to be a common thread there. So some of these are going to stay. Like a couple of the main roads are, so I shouldn't get overzealous when it comes to making things macadam. But a lot of these are going to end up being this way. So, shift-click. And then replace spline with selected asset. There we go. Still not sure about the road arrangement in some of these, and I'm definitely not sure about what to put here. It can't be a rail-served industry because we just don't have a way to get tracks to it. And I'm not even sure if it should be industry, but I'm definitely not sure what else it should be. I'm going to need to look at places that are sort of on the edge of towns and see if there's any leads, anything that can grab my attention there. We probably need another gas station down here on the highway leading out of town, because currently we don't. We have this one. That's pretty close to being on the highway, but we need at least one more. We need some competition in town. Yeah, and I need to set up a lot of multiple industries. Good God. So, with that in mind, wow, everything's so like, the pressure. It left me. I want to put in some. I want to seed this a little bit. So I need to go to my industries list, or yeah, my industries spreadsheet, and look at the hoppers that we're using. Now, there are two coal hoppers that we are using. This is the B&O 55-ton hopper, and I think the PC 4 bay, yeah, the big one. The HR2 specifically, because this is my favorite one. It doesn't say Penn Central on it. And these guys would have come in at the very end of the PRR. So would they be here? They're a little bit out of era. I've always liked them, but they're a little bit out of era. Now the other one is the B&O 50-foot ton hopper original, and we can put a line of these here in storage, and I'm gonna fill up the whole damn track with them. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to stage a photo a little bit. I don't know what yet, but something. What kind of stock cars are we using? If I go into the industries list, I can find. Nope, nope. Tank car, flat car, Boston, Maine, 40-foot stock car, TP, and also 40-foot stock car, Chesapeake and Ohio. So now the thing is, these cars are really ugly. Okay, I need to mix and match a little bit because this is not okay. These are ugly as sin. Well, hold on. Why do we have the two kinds, and what do they do? Because the TNP box car, the TNP stock car, if I remember right, okay, that has the cattle, and the other one has Cow's Jersey '01 load. So we have multiple different kinds of cattle load in here. Now the TNP ones are much better looking, so I'll prefer to have those. And then if we want to, well, if we want to look at, okay, what would we have down here? Uh, PS5 drift stick sucks. Now this is where we get into the problem because I don't know what these industries are taking. Uh, this one is probably general goods, but we never decided. This one I don't know, but I was actually leaning towards some kind of tank car commodity. And then we have the aggregate hoppers, but this wouldn't be served by them. So you're limited to those two industries, this industry, which is also probably going to be some kind of general goods, and these industries, which honestly, not even sure. And then, you could extend that to these industries. I'm not sure what would go in a train down here. I think actually going in and setting up the a picture is going to be more trouble than it's worth because going in the session and setting the daytime and that sort of thing, I'm very quickly running out of I feel like doing it, but we can at least set some of the stuff to seed. Do I have to do this for each individual car? Okay, no. Everything that's coupled together is going to be excellent. Okay. Seed. At least that's easier. They did make one thing better. Seed. Save changes. Seed. Save changes. Seed. Save changes. Okay. So, yeah. We've staged some cars. That's about it. That's all I really aspired to do. Now, these two tracks... Let me... I don't want to put a normal thing there. I want to do this. Oh, target layer invalid. Wait, what? Are these on the session layer? I swear to God. They're on session layer. Son of a gun. Route layer. Oh, route layer. How much of this stuff is on the session layer? That's on the route layer. That's on the route layer. That's on the route layer. So it's just these two pieces of track? What the hell? Okay. Yeah, alright. I wanted to put a couple of... I wanted to put the buffer on these as sleepers. So, yeah. Until I know what the industries are, I can't really seed the yard anyway, and it's going to be a long time before we can figure that out. With the way things are with the UI, I'm going to have to do multiple industries for everything. That isn't really, like, a bad thing, per se, but it's going to make things a little bit more annoying to do. It's gonna take a little bit extra of my time. Also, hi, Mew. Either way, I am growing ever happier with the growing. I have a Duffy nose. I didn't want people to watch me blow my nose. I turned off the webcam maybe 20 minutes ago. But this block is not done, but it's pretty damn close to done. And that's one more notch in the story of Bellington and South Bellington. Yeah, it's good progress. We also put some buildings over here. But, yeah. I keep getting distracted with this and that. I think I'm going to continue doing the concrete driveway. And also for these poor saps that just have to, they just have to like drive up over the curb. But I know people with driveways like this. It's gotten, you know, it's an old school thing. Okay. This is a problem for Surveyor 2.0 with the stairs being too close. I'll just scoot those guys over. This one is just going to have a driveway that goes up to the building and not next to the building. These guys have one of these driveways that's just right in between with no space at all. Yep. No privacy for you. No fence. And then you go there. And this goes here, like right up to the thing. And honestly, I think this guy's driveway is going to be on this side. Two identical driveways. Maybe I'll put a fence in between them. We'll see. But, you know, progress is progress. Looking forward to next time. I was looking forward to this all week. I can't lie. I was genuinely looking forward to doing this this week. I just get, you know, you get urges. I get urges. I want to go, oh, shoot, I want to go work on Tolbrand. It's like, no, I got to wait till Thursday. Thursday rolls around and I feel less excited, like a little bit less excited than I do in the week. And I don't really know why. It's probably just a psychological thing. The idea of doing it is more exciting than actually doing it. But I am very happy with this, even though we're sort of on the shoulders of giants, because I built that many moons ago. I threw these two things down at least like last month, and this block has been a long time coming. To have the the scenery almost completely connected, and to sort of figure out some more of the stuff over here, a little bit anyway. It's been good. It's been nice. It means that we can just keep sort of bulking up this through line of completed scenery by building, doing a block on either side. Um, Speaking of urges, I uh, having the urge all day to play Railroader, but now that I actually have the chance to play it, I'm feeling meh about it. Plus one for Els to do some off-camera work. No, I don't. I don't want to, because I don't want to burn out my good ideas and jazz, and I already have enough stuff to do. Sort of the rest of the. I already have enough stuff to do the rest of the week. I can't dedicate myself to doing Trainz the rest of the week. That's what Thursdays are for.
Yeah.
Hold on. I wanna. Where is? How do I? Map options. Turn off gradients. Oh, turn off signals. Oh, and junctions. Hold on. Junctions. Yeah, there we go. I wanted to see what this tangle really looks like, and we've got way more yard to build over there. Um, but this is definitely an interesting looking world so far. This is the most intricate tangle of tracks that we have. Certainly active tracks, and I'm so here for it. I'm ready to switch the hell out of it. I'm ready to do some iPortaling with it. Sadly, it is not ready for that. So I'm gonna wrap up this week. I know I teased doing a screenshot at the end, but I don't want to start putting cars down if I've got to remove them later, which means we've got to get industries done. We need to figure out what we're doing. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next week. This is the Admiral. Can't see me, but I'm signing off.